بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وكفى على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قد أفلح المؤمنون والذين هم في صلاتهم خاشعون والذين هم عن اللغو معرضون والذين هم بالزكاة فاعلون والذين هم لفروجهم حافظون والذين هم لأماناتهم وعهدهم راعون والذين هم على صلاتهم يحافظون أولئك هم الوارثون الذين يرثون الفردوس هم فيها خالدون. Here in this particular verse, in tonight's recital, we did the 18th juz of the Quran, where Allah speaks about the qualities of the believers, what kind of qualities they should have. So Allah says the believers have truly succeeded, those who are humble in their salah, who turn away from futility, who fulfill their zakat, who safeguard their chastity, and those who give due regard to trust and their pledges, particularly about their salah. So that means whatever qada salah that we have, we should try our level best to make sure that we complete our qada salah. We may have as many as we, some of us maybe have 100, 200, some of us may, inshallah, alhamdulillah, have less than that. But we should try and make up for the qada salah that we have. That is incumbent, that is compulsory, because that will be questioned by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of Qiyamah regarding our salah. As to why you missed it, why didn't you make qada for that particular salah? Out of negligence, sincere negligence, we miss salah. We have this, it's a human instinct, that the moment we miss a zuhr salah, we don't have that urge to go and perform it. Yes, we were indulged in something, and hence we forgot the time. Salat al-Dhuhr is at 1:30 and we forgot to go to the masjid. That doesn't mean that now we are free from that particular salah. We should make the salah. Salah is incumbent and compulsory. That is, we know very well, that was the gift that was given to the Prophet ﷺ, and it is one of the questions we will be asked in relation that we performed our prayers or not, irrespective of whether it's accepted or not. I'm not here to question the acceptance of anybody's prayers, but rather making sure that we do qada. And one beautiful incident I like to make mention of in relation to qada salah. We had 3 youngsters studying in the same institute as myself in Johannesburg in South Africa. And again, 2 of them, in fact, in particular, they were very, very punctual in their salah. But prior to being punctual in salah, they allowed many, many salahs to become qada. Then Allah put it inside their heart that, we need to make up for the qada salah that we have missed. So it was only 4 individuals. So it happened a day before the jalsa. One of them was going to be completing and becoming an alim, a scholar. And the other 3 were also part of the alim class, going through the dars al-nizami, as they say. And the night before they went, as youngsters, they go outside, they go eat and then come back. So on their way back, they met up in an accident and all 4 of them passed away on the spot, all 4 of them. But the most amazing part we heard thereafterwards, that out of the 2 brothers who were making up for their qada salah, the night before, they made up for all their qada salah which they had. Just the night before. They had no idea that tomorrow they'll be leaving this world. They went out to eat, just general out to eat with friends, and they were returning back to madrasa around about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and it happened to be so that there was a drunk driver in front, and it was a head-on collision. And all 4 of them passed away. One of them, they tried to resuscitate him, but by then, before they could even put him inside the ambulance, he passed on as well. So a lesson to be learned here, brothers, is we may have many qada salah, but our intentions needs to be noble, and we need to start it as well. There are many sheets out there. I may have quite a few back in Manchester, but inshallah, if I do, I'll try and bring it in the forthcoming days, inshallah. For those brothers who are interested in making their qada salah. In fact, it shouldn't be an interest, it's a must, a compulsory thing, that we have to make up our qada salah. And then we take it as we go along. We may not know the amount of numbers we have missed of our qada salah, but the least amount we start counting. Instead of reading the nafil salah, make up your qada salah for that. So for example, if you are reading your salatul dhuhr, so you read your 4 rakats, salatul dhuhr, the sunnah, the farad, and then you've got your sunnah, and then you've got your nafil. Instead of reading the nafil, read your qada of your salatul dhuhr from the previous day or from the time you missed. So we should try and make sure that we are punctual with our salah, first and foremost, and secondly, if there's any qada salah that we have, we should try and make up for it. Further on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes mention regarding the embryo and the womb of the mother and the creation of mankind. ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة فخلقنا العلقة مضغة فخلقنا المضغة عظاما فكسونا العظام لحما ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala further on says that we have created ثم خلقنا النطفة علقة, from a drop of fluid, and then فخلقنا العلقة مضغة, from the fluid a clot of blood into a lump of flesh, وخلقنا المضغة عظاما, and then from a lump of flesh into bones, فكسونا العظام لحما, after which we dress the bones into flesh, ثم أنشأناه خلقا آخر, we made him into another type of creation sewn into the fetus, فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين, so blessed is Allah, the best of all creators. Only now, recently they discovered that the formation, after how many weeks the formation is done. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us from long before that, prior to that. So again, a lesson to be learned for us is Islam has been proven absolutely 100% correct, has given us correct information regarding the embryo that's inside in the womb of the mother, and then it travels, and after becoming from fluid to a clot of blood into a lump of flesh, and then so forth. There are various different stages. And then imagine a mother going through all those stages in the lifetime of that child, inside the womb of the mother. That's layers upon darkness. So again, layers upon layers of darkness. And here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is forming the human being. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala can do that. Today we investigate how the human itself works. If we just have to peel the skin of a human being, it's fascinating to see how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the veins and the vessels and how the blood works. It's absolutely fascinating. We need to study exactly. I mean, sometimes we could ask ourselves a question, how about the fluid that's in our eyes? For a moment, just think, if there was no fluid in our eyes, what would happen? We would stare at one another. We won't be able to blink. That's exactly what would happen. Or if our eyes were closed, we won't be able to open it. So this fluid allows the eyes to continue to blink and we can see. Again, this is the ni'mat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Although there are people out there who are trying to replicate, those people who had their legs amputated or their arms, so forth, you will find that they have another arm, but it's not the same. They can never ever make the same kind of arm which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed you using. So again, this is absolutely amazing which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created. It's absolutely unique how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala formed and shaped us. Again, further on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhal rusulu kulu min at-tayyibati wa'amalu salihan, eat halal food and do righteous deeds. So here Allah is once again informing us that eat halal food and do righteous deeds. We can do it directly in the month of Ramadan, doing righteous deeds, staying away from evil, from sin, from haram. We have the opportunity to do it in the month of Ramadan, and consumption of halal, making sure that every single thing that we eat, from water to food to rice, whatever it is absolutely 100% halal. There's no doubt in it at all whatsoever. Part of tonight's recital also we discussed regarding one of the surahs, it's regarding Surah An-Nur, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks against immorality and adultery and punishment for that. الزانية والزاني فاجلدوا كل واحد منهما مئة جلدة. For a person who steals, for a woman who commits zina, for a man who commits adultery and so forth, lashes upon them. And then if it's marriage, then obviously it's pelted to death and so forth. There's the laws and the injunctions of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran. And we have to follow it, we don't have a choice. That is, as for example, a practical example is when there was a youngster, again, which I made mention of previously as well. It's like he has a problem as to why Islam doesn't accept homosexuality, but my parents accept it. The simple answer was, your parents are not Islam. That is the end. Your parents are not Islam, so that they may accept it, but Islam will not accept it at all. The simple reason is what happened to the previous nation who practiced this particular practice of sodomy, homosexuality, and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala punished them severely. Moving on further, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about regarding the incident of Aisha radiyallahu anha, which is famously known as in the hadith, waqi'atul ifk, regarding this particular incident. It's a lovely incident as they were returning from Ghazwa Banu Mustaliq, also known as Ghazwa Banu Muraythi. And as they were returning, and as it was the norm of the Prophet ﷺ, is to stop, if it night falls, then they would not enter Medina, they would camp outside Medina. And then afterwards they would go into Medina. So like that, I'm just cutting a long story short because it's a lengthy incident of how it all happened, but long story short. In the interim, al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu anha went to relieve herself. And then in the interim she lost her necklace, which was given to her by her mother. So again, a necklace. So she started looking for that necklace and she couldn't find it. So anyway, al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu anha started looking for that necklace, so she retracted her steps back where she went to relieve herself. In the interim, it was the army had to leave and go into Medina Munawwara. Al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu anha, when she came back and she saw her necklace, it was right underneath her conveyance. So generally the women and Azwaj al-Mutahharat, they would sit in a little kind of box called hawdaj. You'll find it in weddings, when they carry the woman in that little chandelier box kind of thing. And that's practically how Aisha radiyallahu anha was put onto a conveyance in that particular manner. So as the men carried it, they thought Aisha radiyallahu anha was inside the hawdaj. In the meantime, Aisha radiyallahu anha was looking for her necklace as she was retracking her steps back to see whether she lost it, where she went to relieve herself. Again, women of that time were not heavy like our women today. Just on a lighter note. So they were very light. They would eat very little as well. And Aisha radiyallahu anha was young at that time as well. So then they actually put the hawdaj onto the conveyance and they left. When Aisha radiallahu anha returned and she found the necklace, and now she was concerned that the entire army is gone, so she stayed there and she covered herself and went to sleep. Then it was Safwan, his name was Safwan ibn Mu'attal, as-Sulami radiallahu anhu. He would come from the back and whatever the army had dropped, he would be like a sweeper. He would go up and pick up all whatever the things that were left behind. And just then he's seen someone sleeping. So he said, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. By the time he said that, he's seen very vaguely the face of Aisha radiallahu anha, knowing that prior to the laws of hijab, he had seen the face of Aisha radiallahu anha. So immediately he understood that this is Aisha radiallahu anha. Aisha radiallahu anha got up and she covered herself. And the most amazing part is there was no conversation at all whatsoever. It was the munafiqeen who then saw the perfect opportunity to then spread lies upon lies. That something happened between these two here. And it spread so bad that when it came to the ears of the Prophet ﷺ, he could not say anything. When it came to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, he was absolutely upset and angry. Aisha radiallahu anha was equally upset and angry as well. She didn't want to say anything. She wanted to explain to the Prophet ﷺ, but the Prophet ﷺ couldn't say anything till Allah revealed something. Then when Allah revealed the ayats of Bara'ah regarding Sayyidatina Aisha radiallahu anha, that's when, then only the Prophet ﷺ spoke that Aisha radiallahu anha is free from all these accusations which people are making. But Aisha radiallahu anha was equally not happy. We understand, remember, these ayats were revealed on behalf of Al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha. Allah didn't want a child to speak on behalf of Al-Mu'mineen. Allah did not want how, obviously, Isa alayhi salatu wasalam spoke on behalf of his mother, Maryam alayhi salam, and Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, how the child gave evidence regarding Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. But Allah revealed Himself, that means the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala came down, making Aisha radiallahu anha free from all accusations. In fact, Mufassirun, they write that when they come to this particular verses, it is absolutely, the lessons that we derive from these verses of the Quran is absolutely rich. But there are some verses which is very difficult to translate into normal and general and simplified words. So this was in relation to the incident of Al-Mu'mineen Aisha radiallahu anha. Then further on, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then speaks about, lastly, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la tadkhulu buyutan ghayra buyutikum hatta tasta'nisu wa tusallimu ala ahliha. Don't enter anybody's home besides your own home until you seek permission and you make salam. And this is the proper and appropriate way of doing it, is that before we get there, don't just barge in. Irrespective, even within our homes, the etiquette should be, even when we're entering our parents' room, we need to knock and we need to ask, may I come in? And then when we are given permission, then we go in. Not barge in. Your parents could be doing something, father could be doing something, mother could be doing something, which is obviously not good, not for your eyes or your ears to see or hear. But what I'm saying is, they are not doing anything absolutely at all. But the general etiquette is to ensure that we knock on the door and ask for permission. When we are then given permission that we may come in, that's when we take a step in. Don't barge in, irrespective whether you know that this is my brother's room and I can just go in without knocking on the door, or this is my sister's room and I can just barge in without knocking on the door. This is the etiquette which the Prophet ﷺ had taught us. That don't just walk in, knock, seek for permission when permission has been sought and has been granted, and then you walk in. And if you don't find anyone, don't enter until you are given permission to enter. Again, this is also a very common thing for those brothers. When we go out in the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and we do the amal of ghash, you will find the brothers, they knock on the door. Even though the door is open and they can go inside and then knock on, yet the brothers won't do that. Because the etiquette of the Prophet ﷺ is to knock on the door. Even though the door is open, you'll still knock on the door. And you'll still ask for permission. Even though nobody has given you permission, you will not enter. So that is the etiquette that we need to apply as well in today's time. And if he says he doesn't want to see you or meet and tells you to go back, don't get offended. If the brother say that, I don't like to speak to you guys, why don't you just walk away, why don't you go to the next house? Don't feel offended. He needs help, he needs assistance, he needs guidance, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him. If he refuses to talk to you, then fabiha. As to what happened to the Prophet ﷺ in Taif, the three chieftains didn't want him to speak to the Prophet ﷺ. The Prophet ﷺ continued. He continued with his message to seek and propagate the message to the masses. Maybe they will accept the message. But obviously what happened to the Prophet ﷺ was something obviously totally different. But for yourself is when you go knocking on somebody's door and giving da'wah, and they refuse to speak to you, or they refuse to open the door, or they don't want to know who you are, then don't get offended. We make dua for the brother, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him and protect him, and inshallah open up his heart and chest and bosom that he accepts the da'wah of Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So like that we continue and we move on. Sometimes it is difficult to give da'wah in some places. The simple reason is people are not acceptable. They don't accept, according to their understanding, that the da'wah that you're doing is absolutely wrong. Now, irrespective whether they think it is right or wrong, but you're doing the work and the effort of Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. So when you're doing that, it is a noble effort. Continue with it, be steadfast on it, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect and guide you, because that is the effort of not just the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, but all Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. Imagine Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, how long did he propagate for? You'd be surprised and astonished when we do the biography in the 29th juz of the Quran in Surah Nuh regarding Sayyidina Nuh alayhi salatu wasalam, 950 years. That's not his age. That's the amount of years he has given da'wah. His age was 1050. And how many people accepted Islam is also astonishing. Less than 15 people, approximately. Less than 15 people accepted his message. So you can understand, 950 years continuing, propagating the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He never felt. Every time he felt down, he still continued and continued. So at times when we knock on the same door, we'll find the people are not coming out. Don't feel offended. Continue moving on. Your effort is to do what the Prophet Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam did. You continue with that. Don't allow others to put you down and the effort. You continue and Allah is with you, inshallah. And that's how we move forward and continue to do the effort of deen. We make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He gives us a true understanding of deen. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah.